Hey guys, what's up? So my cell phone was blowing up this week a little bit because South Park decided to put out a episode about real estate agents, and part of it was a subject that was particularly interesting to the market that I'm in here in Clinton, New Jersey. So I wanted to just put a quick video out to kind of react to some of the things that they cover in that episode and how they might apply to real estate just for fun. Been putting a lot of these videos out and wanted to cut away from the mundane stuff and get into a bit of a reaction video. So let's take a look.
Yes, sir. If you're looking to move out of the city, I think your family would love South Park. You can get 4 times the house here that you can get in the city. A cortado? Is that like a coffee? Yeah, we have a coffee shop
We're
here.
up in the mountains about an hour from Denver. Do you think you could drive out from the city this weekend and I could show you some properties? Oh, you have a Tesla? How nice.
South Park. Yeah, it's a charming country village. If you're able to work from home, I think you'll really love it out here. LaCroix? The sparkling mineral water? Yes, I do believe we have that in our stores here.
All right, so a couple things. I like I like how they're showing the realtors as a very similar like age demographic, which, you know, not for nothing, but I'm a young man in this real estate game, at least out in this market, and that's going to be important about what's interesting about this episode. But the average age of realtors tends to be on the older side out here in rural New Jersey. But what's interesting is what they're talking about here is something that's very on point, which, you know, generally speaking, South Park is very on point with their commentary. And that is that there's this pilgrimage from, in this case, Denver out to the mountains. But it's pretty similar to what we have going on here in New Jersey with people coming from, you know, New York City and the eastern Jersey out to here, which is much further west, and the country of New Jersey. Hunterdon County is pretty rural, obviously. I'm saying this to a lot of people that live in Hunterdon County, but there's also potentially people watching this that have no idea or never heard of Hunterdon County, because you could be 2 hours from here and never have heard of Hunterdon County. We're a pretty small town, small area. So it's interesting because there are a lot of parallels here to our market. So right when I started hearing this, I was like, this is going to be great. I like how they're showing all the phone time. As I've talked about in my other videos, that's definitely something that we do a lot of. So these people are fielding a lot of calls and doing their lead generation as we do as realtors. So very funny. They all have their traditional marketing on their desk with the postcards with the pictures, and I'm just looking now. All right, they all have computers, so they're not making too much fun. They're fairly tech adept. So all right, well, let's move on.
We're seeing a massive influx of city people moving out here to the country. And the truth is we just don't have enough real estate agents to keep up with all the demand.
Well, I don't have much experience, but I thought I'd give real estate a try.
Mrs. Cartman, being a real estate agent takes a lot of intellect and a lot of raw talent. You have to get your picture taken, get people to like the picture and go, oh, I'd like to hang out with that person, and then act like you like those people when you show them houses.
Okay, so this is pretty funny. They're gonna come back to this theme again later in another scene where they basically insinuate that, you know, real estate agents don't do anything. Obviously, this is not the case, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think it's funny because it's really giving me an opportunity to deal with something that I think a lot of people think, in that you know, they only see that line item when real estate agents get paid on a deal. Obviously, the people that we're dealing with can see what we get paid, and they see that line item, and it's, you know, it can be a pretty sizable line item. So they're like, wait a minute, what did you really do for this money? So first of all, that's not all our money. That's what's getting paid to the broker, and we get a percentage of that. So that's what's called your split, and that is, you don't have access to that. So you just see the line item with the non-split amount. So a portion of that money is not mine. But also, obviously, and they don't talk about this at all, they just talk about everything up until an offer is accepted, which I think is how a lot of people think of it. But obviously, as I've said in previous videos, is most of the work that we do as realtors is really getting up to that point, of course, getting your offer in, getting your offer accepted, but then, most of the heavy lifting, in my opinion, starts at that point. Now, South Park's not going to talk about all of that, obviously, but let's get ahead of this whole thing that realtors don't do a whole lot for their money, because that couldn't be further from the truth. But I do think it's funny that they, South Park has a tendency to just pull these things out and focus on them. And I think it is an accurate beat to base comedy off of, for sure. And I'm sure that some of my clients or colleagues, or not colleagues, but some of my clients and friends and whatnot have some portion of thinking like, what does Craig really do for that money? So interesting beat on their part, and pretty funny. The other thing I want to talk about is, so he starts talking about interviewing the real estate agent. So, this isn't typically how real estate agents are interviewed and hired. Obviously, if you want to, if you come to here, KW in Clinton, New Jersey, and you want to work here, I mean, you're hired. As long as you have a license, we'll take a shot with you. There's really no interview process necessarily where you would potentially not be hired. That would be very rare. I shouldn't say never, because certainly there are some situations, but that wouldn't be very common. But he says something that's very funny. And one of my colleagues that I just brought into real estate, I used to say this to him all the time, is that the most important thing about being semi-successful in this business is that when you pull up to a showing, or I should say this, when your clients are pulling up to a showing and they see you, they should have a visceral reaction of, oh, Craig's here, great. Like that, essentially they want to hang out with you for 25, 30 minutes. And he does actually mention that, which is pretty funny because it's totally true. I mean, if every time your client sees you, they're dreading your appearance and it's a drag on them, then they're probably not going to work for you for very long. So again, very funny that he touched on that. He's saying it's like literally the most important part, or the only important part, which obviously isn't true, but it is an important part. So again, pretty on point by South Park.
Well, I do believe I'm good with people, and the truth is, I need to do this for my son. Our rent is going up because of all the new people moving into town, and I don't think I can afford it anymore.
Well, then I'm gonna give you a shot, Mrs. Cartman, for your little boy.
Have you ever heard of a real estate agent, Butters?
Well, not really.
Yeah, well, neither had I. So I looked it up on a bunch of those shows and stuff. You don't do anything. You just look nice and hug people, and then when someone buys or sells a house, you make money.
Wow, well that sounds like a good deal.
It's more than a good deal, Butters. It's fucking legal theft. If my mom can be a real estate agent, then literally anyone in the world can.
All right. So here we go again with the realtors don't do anything. I get it. It's comedy. What are you going to do? But obviously that's not the case. Not literally anyone can do this. But, you do have to be good with people. That's definitely true. But there are, and this is just, probably boring, but, the thing is that there are a lot of different things that you're going to touch on as a realtor, which is, lead generation, understanding mortgages, understanding short sales, foreclosures, investment properties, clients, people skills, all of those things. So can literally anyone do that? No. But obviously it's comedy. I get it. So I'll take the punch. It's fine. But I do want to touch on that again. There is a lot to this job. Not literally anyone can do it, but fair enough. Comedy point.
We've got all these people moving from the cities into our town. I can probably be a millionaire in just a few days' time.
Wow-wee!
Now, whatever you do, don't tell anybody. If anyone else finds out about this, they'll all want to be real estate agents too. You've always been great at taking pictures, Butters. I won't forget this when I'm rich.
Gosh, thanks, Eric.
All right. So, and this is another funny beat that South Park picked up on, and it's that famous pose that Cartman hits there. So, yeah, that pose. So it's very funny because when I first came into real estate, this is like literally one of the only jobs where like our picture is on our business card. Now, I don't choose to do that. I don't put my picture on my business card per se. But my picture is all over my marketing materials. In fact, if you go on my channel art, you'll see my what I use as like a digital business card. It has my picture on it. But for some reason, and this always struck me as strange when I came into real estate, is that pose that Cartman hits is like the typical real estate business card pose. So it's very funny that they touch on that, and they're actually going to come back to it and keep coming back to it. It's a weird pose, right? It's like the arms crossed and leaning back, but also if you look at a lot of these pictures on real estate cards, it's a very unnatural arm folding. It's like the hand over. It's a very strange pose because I don't think anyone really stands like that. But for some reason, this has become like such a typical real estate. If you look at any billboard or business card or marketing material for realtors, they hit that pose all the time. So it's like South Park's very good at catching aspects of our culture and our society and picking out that little thing and leaning on it for comedy reasons, and this is a really good one. So again, I don't know how much I'm a realtor, so I see it all the time, so I don't know how much this is funny to the average person, but to me as a realtor who's always had a weird fascination with that pose, it's very funny. So kudos to South Park on picking up on that. New York plates, very, very appropriate for this market.
Leanne, you've got this. You can do this.
Very funny introduction here.
Bottle water.
Meeting your clients for the first time.
Hello there. I believe I spoke with you on the phone. I'm Leanne Cartman with South Park Realtors.
I love how they portray city
people. This is the house I was telling you
funny.
about. It just came on the market. It's a 2,300 square foot mid-colonial home, detached garage.
Pilates.
Excuse me?
Pilates.
Is there a gym my wife can do Pilates?
Oh, you're about 5 minutes from the local gym.
Pilates. Bottled water?
Oh, you have such a lovely family. It must have been a big drive from the city.
Tesla. We have a Tesla.
Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi? Is there Wi-Fi?
No Wi-Fi. Bottled water.
Well, come on in. Let me show you around.
Okay, so a couple funny things there. So first of all, they portray city people in a very funny way. They talk about Pilates. I jotted a couple things down, but they mentioned Pilates, bottled water. I guess that's a city thing. Kind of makes sense. Teslas and Wi-Fi. That was the concerns of the quote-unquote city people. So very funny. But also, this is actually kind of a fairly accurate portrayal of what it's like meeting your clients for the first time, because there is always this kind of barrier, because they're obviously, listen, I get it. Realtors, you're meeting a realtor for the first time. I think a lot of people probably look at realtors the first time they're meeting them as a necessary evil in terms of getting that house. And, I hope that my clients, after they hang with me a couple times and look at some houses, they get comfortable with me, and, it's an enjoyable, 20 minutes to 30 minutes that we spend together. But there is this, there's always the initial meeting is like that. It's very cold, and it's, it's me trying to get them comfortable and them trying to get comfortable with me. And I think that's pretty accurate. This idea that the city people are so different than the people of South Park is funny, because out here in Hunterdon County, we get this a lot, that there's obviously a lot of people coming out here. And, this has happened over the years. My parents moved here in 1970. They moved here from more east in Jersey. My mom was born and raised in Brooklyn. My dad was born and raised a little further in towards the east of New Jersey, so not necessarily from rural areas. And they moved out here, and that just continues to happen. But I would say that during the pandemic and this crazy housing market is you get more house out here. So we do have, there's been a little bit of a rebirth of that pilgrimage to come out this way. So again, very accurate by South Park that this is in fact happening, and very appropriate for my market. This is literally what's happening. A ton of my clients over the past 2 years have been coming from New York, Eastern New Jersey. I've had clients from Queens and the Bronx and Long Island and everything. They, somehow catch wind of New Jersey, either through friends that have made the move themselves or just looking on Zillow, and they see what they can get for, Staten Island, 600,000 is not going to get you, 600,000 out here. You're going to be in a 4 or 5 bedroom colonial, fairly new, beautiful home with acreage and everything. So it's a big difference. So that's kind of the theme of the episode, and it is pretty appropriate for what's going on right now.
Hey, John, I got some bad news. We just lost another client to South Park Realty Group.
What?
We're losing people like crazy. These guys are ruthless.
Who is this South Park Realty Group? Has anyone heard of them?
It appears to be mostly one agent, a pretty young guy.
There's the pose.
Can't have been in the business that long.
Oh my God. That's a pretty damn good picture. How do you get that kind of depth of field?
Good use of the
Well, no,
photography
he's gotta be
term there of
using
the
some
depth
kind
of
of
field.
soft filter.
Again, I
Nothing
think
I've ever seen.
the insinuation is the younger
Looks like we've got some competition.
realtor
If anyone
has
thinks
just
they
a
can
little
take
more
our
photography
clients, they've
skill.
got
I don't
another
know.
thing coming.
Maybe that's the
Everyone
case
get up, we're gonna
sometimes. I
retake
mean,
our
most of us
pictures.
use professional photography, so.
No, we're getting our butts kicked, and we need to show this kid what we can do.
So now they're going to retake their photos. They're hitting the
Come on,
pose
Chris,
again.
you gotta look really welcoming.
Obviously, this is
I'm
going
trying.
to
Come on, arch your
devolve
back
into
more.
something ridiculous.
Arch as far as I can. Come on, Chris, you want to lose another sale? Arch your back more. I got it.
The idea that
That's
the
good,
further
we
they
got
hit
it.
this
Get in here,
pose,
Carol.
obviously, the better it will be for the real estate business. It's truly
Got it.
absurd,
Okay,
but
next.
also pretty funny. So this part's really funny, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So this is Cartman making his promo video, so let's take a look.
Hey guys, it's Eric from South Park Realty Group. Are you dreaming of moving out of the city and into the beautiful countryside? I want you to check out Clyde's house. This is a 2,300 square foot mid-colonial home, detached garage, now listing for just $3.5 million.
Notice
So
that
check
like
it out.
typical kind of modern ambient music.
This house is so spacious. I think my cameraman Butters can attest to this. Isn't this nice, Butters?
Yeah, it's real roomy.
Just look at these amenities.
Video highlighting still shots in the video and the music still going.
These giant glass double doors lead to the unfinished backyard. Plenty of room here for a pool or a horse stable.
Drone
This
zoom
is just
out.
one of the amazing properties we have at South Park Realty Group. We've got other great listings like Craig's house, Wendy's house, and my personal favorite, Kyle's house. Get out of that sewage drain you call a city and start living the country life you've always wanted. South Park Realty Group. Get out of the city and into beautiful South Park.
All right. So the video that Cartman makes, this was the moment where I'm like, well, they got me on this one, and I'm going to show you exactly why I'm saying that. My real estate business is largely centered around video promos, so they this one really hit close to home. Let me show you something real quick.
What if I told you you could have cul-de-sac living with the possibility of equestrian use? Welcome to 14 Opdyke Road in Kingwood Township. This is a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath.
There I am walking out the front door.
A lot of features to
Got
see
your
inside,
drone
so come on in.
shots. Got your motion shots. It's like a shot-for-shot recreation of Cartman's video. Might have to call Matt Stone and Trey Parker on this one.
At the heart of the home is this beautifully updated
Notice the
kitchen,
music,
handpicked
the
granite.
walk and talk
We have
format.
an eat-in kitchen area, and that works its way into the family room, which has this beautiful insert in the fireplace, which ties into.
So yeah, you got me on that one. You know, obviously those are pretty stylized. They, you know, when we create our videos, you know, I'm all over YouTube. I'm looking at different people's ideas and how they approach things. And I have a partner that I work with on these videos who's outstanding and produces these outstanding videos. But sure, like, you know, the modern real estate video, they all do kind of have the same kind of style, and South Park hit right on it. So once again, really funny, and you know, it is what it is. All right, let's take another look.
Just isn't fair. We retook all our pictures, and what does South Park Realty Group do? They go and make a video. And just like that, they take all our customers.
I think maybe real estate just isn't the same
So this
anymore.
idea that this
Maybe we
new
gotta
young
start
realtor
making
comes
fancy
in
videos
with
to
this
keep up.
fancy trick of making these videos,
Excuse
and
me,
all
there's
the
all these city
you know,
people moving into town
legacy
and
or
I think I'd
existing
like to sell my
realtors are
property.
bummed out that this is going to affect their business.
Really?
This older gentleman comes in and wants to sell his house, and they all hit that signature pose again.
It's definitely a seller's market right now. It's good you came to South Park Realtors. What kind of house is it?
And then they cut their promo video using that same music again, kind of on point, in that we all kind of use this ambient, atmospheric, beat-driven music.
We know that good houses are getting hard to come by in South Park, and that's why we are so excited to bring you this exceptional new property. This is the historic Aspen Park hot dog. 200 square feet of pure luxury. Let's check it out.
Here we go again with the kind of motion shots, highlighting the great features of this hot dog stand.
You want to move out of the city and enjoy the laid-back country life? It's all here. Find out more about this dream home today at South Park Realtors. Real estate is a delicate balance. It has to be left to the professionals. There's a great migration happening all over America.
That's
and
true.
If we do it right, everyone ends up in a home that they can afford.
All right, and then of course Cartman and his mom end up in the hot dog stand. So yeah, pretty funny. I mean, it touches on some actual themes in real estate. It's pretty niche. I mean, they definitely hit on some things. I mean, I know these things aren't secrets, but I mean, they're things that are like very much, you know, part of my world, and things that we joke about or, you know, talk about a lot. You know, with the remote work situation, they actually did touch it on the episode. I don't know if they necessarily said it in any of the clips I shared. I only shared a portion of the clips because obviously the plot goes in all different directions, and, you know, it wasn't appropriate for this video. But they mentioned at one point that as long as you can work from home, then this is a great spot for you. And that's kind of what's happening in our market is people, you know, when the pandemic started, people were literally not commuting. So they started looking out here and saying, hey, look, you know, if I don't have to commute anymore, then I could definitely live out there and get so much more house. And what a lot of my clients went through is they were going to be commuting much less, so 1 or 2 days a week. And believe it or not, we're 1 hour from New York City as I'm sitting here right now. The park and ride is, you know, a mile down the road from where I'm sitting, and there's multiple buses every morning, and they are all chock full of people commuting into the city. So you can, in fact, commute from here. But obviously, if you were doing that every day, that's not a great option. Although I do have friends and family that, in fact, did it for years and years and commuted every day on the bus. It's a little bit more of a, you know, grind than if that's, you know, you're closer to the city. But yeah, pretty funny. I mean, you know, it's you know, I'm not a huge South Park fan, but, you know, I've obviously seen it over the years, and you know, I'm pretty acquainted with the humor, and yeah, they hit it out of the park here. It was kind of fun for us realtors to see this, and there's definitely some realtor jokes here, and they're poking fun at this profession. But listen, that's nothing new. If you're sitting in this chair as a realtor like I am, you know, I get it. There's plenty of material there. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this perspective from a realtor. Seeing this episode, I had enough people text me and message me, and that I thought, you know, this would be kind of a fun video. So listen, if you do, I do need to plug my business here. So if you do need to make a similar move from the city out to Hunterdon County, look me up. There's tons of, I shouldn't say tons, the inventory is pretty low right now, but there's a lot of homes available out here that are, you know, big bang for your buck, including the promo video that I included. That house is actually available at press time, as we say. Right now it is available. So yeah, if you ever need me, my contact information is on the channel, and look me up. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope more realtors do these reaction videos, because I would love to see some more. But hope you enjoyed, and we will see you soon. Take care.